So let me talk about the process we will take you through when you come on board with us for financial planning. We have a 6-step process as you see in front of you. We'll go through each of these steps in more detail. But let me begin up here on the top. Are we right for you? Are you right for us? Are we right for you? Are you right for us? So let me describe to you our clients and common characteristics and traits that they have. And you tell me if you think this sounds like you or similar to you. Our clients are first generation wealth. They are the first in their family to make the kind of money that they have. And they're kind of an aberration. They went astray from the pack. And by doing so, made themselves very wealthy in the process. And now they find themselves at the end of their career. They're paying the highest tax rates or pretty darn close to it. And realistically, they will be paying the highest tax rates for the rest of their lives. Our clients are conservative, may have taken calculated risks when they were younger in their career and lives, but now that it's at this stage, it's more of steady Eddie, no need to take risks, plenty of income with what's there, so they're much more conservative. They want a coordinated team and a team leader to take care of them. They like to work with experts. We are the team for them. They like personalized, customized services. They are hard workers. It's through blood, sweat, and tears that they got where they are, and it's just been going at it day in, day in, day in, and day out. They're typically age 50 and better. Retirement for them may be 2 to 5 years away. Could be more like 10 years away, but still, it's in the future here. They are attentive to their health. They eat healthy, they work out regularly, and they understand that that is to their own benefit because it's going to help them live a longer, healthier life. They enjoy spending time with their family. They enjoy travel. They are religious, and they believe that they have been blessed and that they need to share their blessings with their less fortunate family members and with others. They are grateful that they can enjoy the lives that they have. They're very grateful people. They're philanthropic and charitable. They give money to organizations. They donate their time to multiple nonprofit boards. They are college educated. They may have an advanced degree or a designation such as a CPA, a physician, attorney, engineer. So those are common traits and characteristics of our clients. So are you right for us? We want to be your team lead. We want a client who wants to sit with us collaboratively at our table so that we can figure out what makes the most sense for you and your family. So I hope that's been helpful to answer those 2 top questions up in the left. Where are you is step number 1. What are your thoughts, your fears, concerns? What is bothering you? And what is it, when you think about retirement, that makes you a little bit maybe unnervous or uncomfortable? So again, thoughts, fears, concerns. We need to set priorities and set goals and set a timeline. This is all in step number 1, and it's us really understanding who you are and what's important to you. So that may take us multiple conversations. We're going to go through some of the tools that we use in a few minutes here, but that's in general what step number 1 does. Step number 2 is all about gathering data. We need to understand what you have and what it really is. So maybe you bought an annuity 10 years ago and at the time it made sense. Does it still make sense today? Well, we're going to pick it apart. We're going to pick it apart bit by bit to see what the heck it really is. We're also going to dig deep into your pension, your SERP, your 401k, the matching on the 401k, the profit sharing, and anything else that you have so that we fully understand what it is. We will evaluate all of that for you. And in that process, we will understand what gaps exist as well. And we will begin to develop alternate choices for what you have there in your kitty. So this also, to make the step easier for you, what we will do is we will often ask you to introduce us to the Human Resources Director via email and CC us on that email. And we will ask you to give authorization to Human Resources that they answer our questions. So then we can speak directly with them to find out what is your 401k, what monies are you vested in, how does that pension work, what if you take it at age 60 or 62 or 65, how does that payout come about, what about the health insurance, does any of that carry over beyond retirement, but we can just dig into it deeply to see what you really have. Our beginning point often is looking at a pay stub because that will identify some areas that are relevant that we can ask questions of your HR. So again, what do you have is step number 2, and we try to get you out of that process as quickly as possible so that we can spend our time on it and minimize your time on us gathering that information. So I'm going to check off step number 1 here and step number 2. In step number 3, pulling the pieces together, we will identify favorable courses of action, and we will determine what is optimal for you given the goals and priorities you said that you have. In that process, we will also begin to fill the gaps and look at different ways that we can fill those gaps. So for example, if you don't have long-term care insurance, we can fill that with a life insurance policy. We can fill it with a separate brokerage account. We can fill it with an actual traditional long-term care policy. We could fill it with an annuity that has long-term care benefits. So many ways to get to the same place. We're going to evaluate the different ways that we can get there. And then step number 4, in step number 4, you are here. We are going to meet with you to tell you what you really have and what you don't have. And this may take several meetings. We may have to have a couple of meetings just to go through your long-term care and get a solution on that. We may take several meetings to talk about your pension and your SERP and what is going to be the best way for you to take that and when to begin. When do we begin taking Social Security? So all of those require time, and in that, we are looking constantly at what are your goals. So after we've gathered the data in step number 2, we may have to reaffirm those goals because we learned new information, and it might make us come back here to step number 1 to reset some of those goals if necessary. So that is step number 4. We will have many conversations. We will talk about the courses of action, and we're going to create this income map. The income map is the first draft of the income map, and that completely depends on your lifestyle. Most of our clients are very conservative, and they make much more than they actually spend. Your lifestyle is what is going to drive the needs in the income map. Your spend has to be below the income that can be generated on the income map. So we're going to go through this and determine what is optimal for you. In step number 5, that's where we implement the different strategies that have been identified. And those strategies might mean that we are doing some Roth conversions because maybe you retired early and you have no taxable income. So son of a gun, we better take full advantage of Roth conversions and get those low tax rates when we can get them. If you look at historical tax rates, you'll find that our rates right now are pretty darn low. Between 1932 and 1987, the rates were higher than they are today. So in number 5, again, we're going to implement those courses of action, and we're going to make everything align with your priorities and align with your goals. We will update the income map now that we've implemented everything so that we can see it. And it's typically at this step right here, step number 5, where the big stress relief and anxiety begins to subside very quickly, because here is where we show you year by year by year what is your income today, in 10 years, in 20 years, in 30 years. We map it out to age 100. Average man lives to about 83, average woman about 85, and different sources will give you different numbers, but there are 3 things that will lead to a longer life: married, higher educated, and higher income. If you have those 3 things, then you will most likely live a longer life. And if you are eating healthy and taking care of yourself physically, walking, hiking, exercising, etc., again, all those lead to more longevity. And if you have an Aunt Tootie who lived to age 110, well, we might have to take that beyond age 100, just because your own genetics would suggest that you will live a longer life. Step number 6 is monitoring the plan going forward. One of the pet peeves I have with having a financial plan that's a 40-page document is that people will sometimes get that, put it on the shelf, and there it sits. Well, you can't do that. You really have to monitor that plan going forward because your life changes every year. So that's why we have to keep track with your life changes as you live your life. And step number 6 is all about monitoring that plan, making sure the income map is still relevant, it's still current, and it's still accurate. So this process, of course, takes time and a lot of effort to get there. I'm going to talk about our service model. This is our service model, and this dovetails with another sheet that I'll show you in a second. But the service model is in different sections. This section here is all about investment planning, about risk tolerance, about time frame, financial planning. This is often our starting point. And as we check things off the list, we will highlight them so that we know we address those. And that is just part of our keeping track of what we've done and what still needs to get done. Retirement planning is part of the picture as well. And these don't all get done in 1 year. They get done over time. But we'll check them off as we go forward. Insurance planning, looking at your life insurance, your long-term care, your disability, etc. And again, checking those off as we go forward. Tax planning section up here requires normally a meeting with your CPA at least once a year, sometimes more than that. And that is so that your team is talking, coordinating, and we're all working all oars in the same direction for your benefit. So we will drive that process. We will set up the meeting with the CPA. You may or may not be there. It just depends on what is happening. If it's something that's lightweight, just a rudimentary or a normal meeting, then you might not be there, but sometimes you want to be there so that you're hearing what is going on. Education planning typically comes in with grandkids, which might not be relevant right now for you today. Business owners, a whole separate section here for business owners. If you have a business, then that becomes relevant. But, it also becomes relevant if you are getting any earned income on 1099. So if you serve as a director on a board, a paying corporate board, and you have 1099 income, then we will talk about some of these that will be very relevant to you. And it could be this one right here about setting up a retirement plan for you with that 1099 income. Because what I see is a corporate executive who serves on a board doesn't need more taxable income. There's already plenty of income. So what we will do is take that income, put it into your own retirement plan separate from your existing corporation, and just tuck that away. And by doing so, we can avoid paying tax on that this year. A lot of benefits to doing that. Estate planning is typically a meeting with your estate lawyer, and that is in our first year. We will revisit that and meet with your attorney as it becomes relevant. What we often see is estate documents were done 10, 15, 20 years ago, and they haven't been updated. So we want to make sure you've got current documents, and that your children who may have been minors when you first had this plan done, that now you've adequately addressed your legal documents so that it meets your current life and lifestyle today. Family Matters, the lower right-hand corner here, our clients ask us to meet with their adult children once a year. And the reason being that typically our clients want the kids to understand that mom and dad have taken care of everything that needs to be addressed. The estate documents are done. Long-term care has been addressed. The point person to coordinate that team for them is AXIOM. And the client wants the adult children, or at least one adult child, to meet with us so they know who we are and they know how to contact us. So if you don't make it back from that European vacation, the kids know that they've got to reach out to us to pick up the pieces where you left off here. So that's what the family meetings are, and sometimes those are more than once a year. If you have things happening, maybe there's a marriage, maybe there's a divorce, then it may require that there are more meetings than once a year. Now, this is how we will represent your first year retirement income. We will look at the source of the income, we will look at the annual income, and we will look at that income also monthly. The green box below that is the guaranteed income, whether it's guaranteed by Social Security, guaranteed by your employer in the form of a pension, guaranteed by an insurance company in the form of an annuity, and then how much of that monthly income is guaranteed. And people have different comfort levels. Some have a comfort level where guaranteed income is not important. They don't need any guaranteed income. But this is your plan, and it depends on what you want. So if you want $5,000 a month of guaranteed income, or you want $30,000 a month of guaranteed income, it's really up to you. We will design around what you want. This is our primary tool to gather information, our Wealth Advisory Analyzer. And with this, we will ask you questions, very general, open-ended questions. I'm just going to scroll through this. I want to get to this page here. This is the priorities. This is where you tell us what's most important to you and where you would like us to begin. So it's not uncommon, or I should say it is very common, that when we get these back from a new client, one of the big things is right here, reduce current taxes. That's often important. Another is plan for long-term care expenses. We see this quite a bit as well. And protect my family from unforeseen financial losses. Are there things that need to get addressed maybe that have not been addressed yet? This one is also quite common. Long-term strategy to reach financial goals. And then this last one is also quite common as well. So what we will ask you for is you tell us what's most important to you. Put an A next to those most important. The second priority, those have the B, etc. So that's how we get our marching orders from you. We'll ask you for a lot of information. This is a sample of information that we might ask for. What we will do, like I mentioned, we will reach out directly to your human resources, to the CFO, to the pension folks, the actuaries, the CPA, the estate lawyer, whomever it is, but we'll reach out directly to them as much as we're able to so that we can take you out of the loop and not have to consume your time to get answers on that. So we will highlight what we want you to get us, and then we'll give you this list. After our first meeting, then we will know enough, I will know enough that I can highlight for you what we need to see from you. So don't think that you have to go looking in the closet and dusting off shelves to to find these documents. We will help you as much as we can to get these put together. Let me go through our income map now. I mentioned the income map at least once. In the income map, we are looking at all of your sources of income, and we're looking at what is in those sources of income in terms of assets, and we're mapping out income year by year by year. So in this is year 2019. You can see 2019, the very top of this column, and then 2020, 2021. But each year we're going to map this out, and as I said, we're going to take this out to age 100. So just year by year by year, all the way out to age 100, so that you can see what your income will be throughout the years. And we'll also factor in, when does Social Security kick in? We always want to keep in mind what is most important to you. We want to have that right in front of us so we see it and we all remember what we're trying to accomplish. So this is the income map, and we will look at what is taxable, what is non-taxable, what is guaranteed by some source, what is not guaranteed. We will look for opportunities for Roth conversions whenever we can find them. We may put in a municipal bond portfolio if it makes sense, if it's appropriate to you. So a lot of ways to get to the same place. And the income map is the way that we can see those and show those. We have an advisory board, and I want to show you this because we met with our advisory board recently. We had a facilitator come in, and the question that we asked our advisory board, which is comprised of 6 clients of our firm, we had the facilitator ask them, why are you here and what do you like about working with AXIOM? And these are the words that they used to describe us. I was a little bit surprised in that I didn't see anything on here that talked about financial security or financial planning. And if you didn't know what we did as a company, and you see the words here, you really wouldn't have any idea what business we're in. So again, this is what they use to describe us. I'll point out just a couple on here. They mention peace of mind, that they get great peace of mind knowing that there's somebody on their side working in coordination as a team leader for them to coordinate their CPA, their estate lawyer, their business lawyer, and the pension folks and actuarial folks. They get great peace of mind that there's a coordinating team on that. They like that we have a collaborative partnership with them, and that we work that way with them, which allows them to make informed choices. They said that we have baseline credentials. We are CPAs in this office. I used to have my own CPA firm for 14 years. I sold it at the end of 2007 to focus on wealth management and financial planning. So the baseline credentials are what our clients have told us, our advisory board clients have told us, that they really value. And what they've told us is that if you weren't a CPA, you wouldn't be able to talk with my tax CPA or my estate lawyer or my pension people and my actuaries. And by us being CPAs, those baseline credentials allow us to really fully integrate that team and have meaningful conversations with their other professional service providers. So I hope this has been helpful for you. My name is Armando Roman. I'm the managing principal of AXIOM Financial Advisory Group. My phone number is 480-367-9000. I invite you to call me. If this looks like this is pertinent, relevant to you, and you'd like to have a conversation, I'd love to talk with you. Offices are in Scottsdale, Arizona. Although we serve clients all over the country, we serve them via video meetings, telephonic meetings, screen sharing. We'd love to serve you in person or serve you remotely as well. Please call if we might be able to assist you with your personal financial planning and your retirement planning. Thank you.